This year's Golden Week units are some of the best in the game, but are they worth your hard-earned Dragon Stones? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are answering that age-old question: should you summon? We have the details and the banner info for the upcoming Golden Week units, the Piccolo Jr. and the Goku from the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournaments, and we have their banner teasers. Since it is a dual Dokkan Fest and the banner is animated, we have the at least cover for the banner in the data download. So we're going to spend some time. We are going to determine whether or not you should summon on this banner. As always, when we make that determination, we look at several key factors. Number one, being the units themselves. Are these units good enough to justify a summon regardless of any other factors? Then we take a look at the banner. Is the banner worth your stones, or is it just plain, for lack of a better word, trash? Because we've had a few of those this year. And then finally, we take a look at what lies ahead and any other special considerations to determine whether or not you should spend any stones on this banner. So let's go ahead. Let's start by taking a look at the units, our first consideration. So we have the Dokkan Festival TEQ Goku. He is an Earthbred Fighter's powerful combat category key 3 HP attack defense 170%. He also has an additional attack defense 30% for Battle of Fate or World Tournament. His passive activates an entrance animation upon entry once only. He guards all attacks for 1 turn from the start of turn. He gets key 2 attack defense 101% for 5 turns from the start of turn. He has key 3 attack defense 150% plus an additional attack defense 10% with each attack received up to 100%. He gets effective against all types when facing one enemy and a high chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attacks. He has a high chance of guarding all attacks. He launches an additional attack with a 70% chance of becoming a super for 4 turns once guard is activated. He also has an additional 20% whenever guard is activated up to 100. He gets an additional attack defense 150% and launches an additional super attack and guards all attacks from the turn in which an ally's or his own revival skill is activated. He does have a revival skill that can be activated once he enters his standby mode. Here it is. His standby can be achieved when HP is 59% or less, starting from the 6th turn from battle. Once he goes into standby, he is unable to attack until the finishing effect is activated. He becomes a support unit at that point. He is all allies key 3 attack 59%, then Earthbred Fighters defense 50 self-excluded, and World Tournament allies defense 50. So he's given 100% defense to other characters on those two categories. He does have a scatter effect and revives with 59% HP recovered when the character or ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd. He also has an additional attack 590% when the finishing effect is activated. The finishing effect activates when his revival skill procs, and it counters with super intense power against the enemy who KO'd him, or the ally. So very, very powerful, and being that he's the first character to receive his buff when the ally revives, makes him even more powerful, because then he can start launching his extra super attack. So very, very powerful. He is arguably up there with the likes of God Goku and the Gammas. He is definitely very, very good. We have Piccolo on the other side here. He is Gifted Warriors, Terrifying Conquerors, or Giant Form, category key 3, HP attack defense 170, plus an additional HP attack and defense 30% for characters belonging to the Battle of Fate or World Tournament category. He activates an entrance animation upon entry. He gets a high chance of launching an additional super attack for 1 turn from the start of turn. He has key 2 attack defense 101% for 5 turns from the start of turn. He has key 3 attack defense 150%, and an additional attack and defense 20% with each super attack form. He has effective against all types when facing one enemy, medium chance of launching an additional super attack, and an additional attack and defense 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack, and an additional attack and defense 100% and all enemies attack defense 30% as the first attacker in the turn. He has an additional attack and defense 100% when performing a super attack and a high chance of launching an additional super attack as the second or third. He turns into giant form when conditions are met, basically 50% or less, or from the starting from the 4th turn of battle, or when facing 2 or more enemies. Makes him really good for World Tournament. And then his giant form is typical giant form stuff. He also has a powerful active skill that raises his, or where is it? I'm sorry, that is his active skill. His giant form, where is it? Here it is. Giant form turns into giant form 60% or less from the 4th turn. And once he's in that, as we know, he is key 3 and effective against all types with a high chance of performing a critical hit. So pretty darn good. Looking at those units in a vacuum, I would say more so, I mean, the Piccolo's good, don't get me wrong, and I love me some Piccolo, right? He is amazing. I can't wait to run him on a team, but if there were a unit that stood out between the two, I would definitely say it's the Goku, and I would say that he alone justifies a summon on his banner, right? If you had to pick one of the two, I would say the Goku is the priority, with the Piccolo being able to be picked up later. So as far as the units are concerned, sort of carrying their banner, Goku takes it on this one. So that's one for Goku's banner, and as much as I want to give the recommendation to Piccolo, as good as he is, I have to say maybe not so much for him. Looking ahead at the banners themselves, right? So now that we've determined, whether or not the units were worth the summon, we want to take a look at the banners. So the banners feature the first return of these superhero units from New Year's, right? So on Piccolo's banner, we have the Gohan. We have last year's Golden Week unit with the Super Saiyan Goku. We have his banner unit TEQ Krillin, and last year's New Year unit with the Super Saiyan Goku. This is the Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 2 Goku. On Goku's banner, we have Kid Buu, the return of Orange Piccolo, his banner unit TN, and last year's Golden Week unit with the AGL Cell. To be completely honest, the banners are pretty good, right? If you were missing any of these characters, every single one of them is a good pickup. SCR Goku still has a good leader skill. He's still fun to use. And even if you don't run him as the leader, right, there are certain setups with him that make him really fun, especially next to the AGL LR Gohan, right? He can be very, very good. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is an excellent third slot unit for most of his teams that he can be run on, which, by the way, can be run here on the Goku's team, because he is Earthbred Fighters and Battle of Fate, which this guy is on. Gohan, he is LR Ultimate Gohan, and despite all the hate that he gets, he's still an extremely powerful card. On the opposite end, we have Orange Piccolo. We all know, number 1 LR in the game next to the GT Duo from the 8th anniversary. We have Kid Buu, who's still a monster, just waiting on that 200% lead. And AGL Cell, same thing, with a couple more buffs to his team, he's going to be a powerhouse. He already is a powerhouse. His team is just missing a major slot 1 component. And then the TN. The banner unit TN on Goku's banner is extremely powerful, right? But this is only 5 of the featured units, right? We know that these banners are likely to feature several more, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So these 5 here are what are featured. There are 1, 2, 3 more possible units we can see. So we can safely assume that they will be Dokkan Fest from the past year, somehow kind of sprinkled in, and maybe with 1 or 2 other older Dokkan Fest. But I don't really think they change the value of the banner too much. No matter who it is, I don't think it changes the overall value of the banner, unless it's like the Gammas or something, in which case it would skyrocket, but I don't think they would hide the Gammas from the banner. So knowing that, that this is pretty much what you see is what you get, and anything else is kind of icing on the cake or not, I would say the banners themselves are good. I would say they are worth the summon, if only the fact that it is the return of the superhero units. We could possibly see their return again on Worldwide, but the way Anniversary is set up in this new format, I almost hesitate to believe that that might be true. Could still be, right? Remains to be seen, but I would say the banners themselves are good enough, and if you were missing any single one of these units, would justify a summon on them. So for Goku, that's 2 summons, right? One for him, one for the banner. On Piccolo, same thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't give it to him for the unit because unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it, Goku is the better unit. And one for his banner though, so that's still pretty good. So we're looking good so far. Now we need to look at what lies ahead if you choose to summon on this dual Dokkan festival, because remember, this is a dual Dokkan festival, which means both of these banners will be live at the same time, and so some of you may have to make a choice. What are you giving up? Should you summon on this banner, first and foremost, you are giving up summons on the June banner, the following banner. I'm not going to count the Part 2 because we have no idea what a Part 2 is. It'll probably be a yellow coin LR, if anything. And no matter what it is, I would highly advise to kind of stay clear of that, even though yellow coins are becoming more and more sporadic. But you are giving up summons on the June Dokkan Fest for the 17 and Hellfighter 17, who are very good. The banner does feature the first return of the TEQ Pan. AGL 17 is still pretty good. The TEQ Androids are pretty good, but this is the banner right before Anniversary, which most of us should be skipping anyways. So, I mean, I don't think you're losing out on much there, but I did want to make sure I covered my bases with that. Now, having that said, here's what you're really giving up. A summon on the Golden Week banners means a summon less on one of these banners, especially if you are a free-to-play player. These are some of the best banners in the game, right? On the GT Duo banner, not only do you have one of the best units in the game next to the LR Orange Piccolo, you have the return of the Gamma 2, the AGL Super Saiyans, who are alright. They get a little too much hate. The LR Super Saiyan 4s from the 7th anniversary, who have a huge buff incoming thanks to the GT Duo. The 6th anniversary units, and the TEQ Vegito, who is getting his EZA, and he is arguably one of the best LR EZAs in the game. You also have the Buhan here, Butanks, who is really good. He got a recent buff with the LR Super Buu that came with the Kale celebration, but still awaiting that, good 200% Majin power scene. But otherwise, the banners are still amazing. If you were a brand new player and didn't have any of these cards, this is probably the most amazing banner for you ever, right? On the opposite end of that, we have the Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Goku and their banner unit. This is the return of the Gamma 1, one of the best TURs in the game. The return of the cooler, top 3 LR in the game. The LR Gods, still one of the best leaders in the game, because their leader skill is just so good. And then the STR Gogeta, who is up there with the LR EZAs next to the Vegito Blue. So, like I said, a summon on these Golden Week banners, no matter how good, is one less summon you're going to be doing on these banners here, and I'm not so sure you want to be giving that up, considering how good these guys are. Z Duo have the best standby skill in the game. It is so powerful. And the GT Duo on the opposite end, their standby provides a huge support, which buffs your units like crazy. It's like 80% support, and then a revive counter, much like this new Goku has. So definitely have to give it a no-go on both banners, due to the fact that we are so close to the 8th anniversary. Now, with that said, that is only 1 in the category of summon for the Piccolo banner, and 2 in the category of the summon for the Goku banner, which leaves us with only 2 last considerations, and that is that, number 1, this is a dual Dokkan Fest, which more than likely we may get some 3+1s. We did have 3+1s, I believe, on the New Year's celebration, our last joint celebration, so consider that. You could have, if you're a low-to-play, free-to-play player, maybe do the first round of 3+1s, right? And also worth considering that if you're a pay-to-play, low-to-play player, there are these dual Dokkan Festival tickets available to you. So if you're somebody who does that, you could pick those up and save your stones for the 8th anniversary. Given all of those considerations, I think because it's a little, you know, we didn't quite check all the boxes in either yes or no, I'm going to tier my recommendation for both of them. I believe you should pick one, whichever one it is that you want, whether it's the Goku or the Piccolo, and I'm going to tier my recommendation from there. Whoever it is you want, I would say if you are less than 500 stones, do not summon. Save your stones, all right, because you are cutting it very close to the stones that you are needing for the 8th anniversary. Yes, we still have about another, 400 to 600 incoming between now and the start of the release of the banners, but I still think you should save, given that if you're anywhere between 500 and 800 stones, I would say you'd be okay maybe doing a discounted rotation, possibly one on each. I think that's pushing it, but that would still leave you with about 500 left over if you were at the max there with 800, which I think is okay moving into the anniversary. That'll put you around 9 to 1,000 by the anniversary. Moving on to my next recommendation, anywhere between 8 and 1,000, I would say go ahead, do a rotation on each, see what you get. If not, walk away, pick up who you need with coins later. Moving on from there, if you are 1,000 stones or greater, my recommendation, pick one of the units and commit a couple stones, 200 to 250, to that banner. That is always my approach to it. Get one of the ones you want first, right? Don't hop back and forth. That's never a good idea. Pick the one you want and plan on getting the other one later, and save the rest for your 8th anniversary summons. That would be my recommendation for how to approach tiering my recommendation based on the amount of stones you have. Again, the final consideration is if you are pay to play, low to play, then definitely pick up the tickets, save your stones that way, see if you can pick them up with tickets, then maybe throw a couple stones at it. But otherwise, continue saving, guys, for the 8th anniversary. We are just so close, and I would hate to see you guys lose out by spending too much on these banners. So anyways, guys, that is the video. That is my recommendation on whether or not you should summon. Again, I am giving a tiered recommendation. If you are 1,000 stones or greater, commit about 200 to 250 on it. Anything less than that, then don't do more than one rotation. If you're less than 500, then steer clear of these banners and save. Remember, these guys will return during new worldwide campaign this year, just like the AGL Cell and the STR Goku from last year. So keep that in mind. So anyways, guys, that is the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, are you summoning for Goku or Piccolo? Do you agree with my recommendation? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. So anyways, guys, if nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.